house the Dream Big Foundation and to house some of the artist work myself. So I'm grateful. Thank you, Charmaine. I'd like to thank Celeste Gordon for providing the delicious treats here. And I suppose they were well received. I would like also to thank
Brett
Wong for providing the juices, pure country juices. Mrs. Dalu Wang for providing the wine, as well as Mrs. Colleen McConnell and Timir providing the wines. So the wines that you are enjoying were sponsored. Right. Last but not least, I'd like to thank the board for the Dream Big Foundation, DBF. I'd like to thank the directors of the board, Catherine Crooks, that lady right there. Marcus Hazel couldn't make it today. Nicole Osborne, she's somewhere with the fancy hairdo right there. Gillian Scarlett, apologies for absence as well, and Rebecca Tortello, Greenland. And pretty much I'd like to start by saying, while studying at a university back in my homeland, or my second homeland, Canada, Brock University, I did a research paper on arts-based methods as it applies to learning. And there's strong evidence in literature to support the use of arts-based methods to enhance learning, as well as to bridge the cultural divide, socioeconomic, ethnic, and so on. So that was very welcome as an artist who wants to make a bit of a change. The mission of the Dream Big is changing the world through art. Let's see if we can all do that. So how exactly did I came up with this Dream Big Foundation? Well, I guess I'm a big dreamer. And that probably sums it up all, but more specifically, it was born out of a desire to advance a certain idea. The idea that art is fundamental to any nation's health and well-being. Yes, thank you. And you know, I believe that as a vehicle of expression, the arts, in particular the visual arts, can actually document a nation's culture. So I really think that, you know, taking this step, even though it may not be the most popular route, I believe that it could foster a lot of mindsets regarding career choices and so on. Nothing against the conventional professions, medicine and the rest, right? Engineering. But I think art is somewhere up there, and that's one of the reasons I'm here trying to convince you. So the Dream Big Foundation, it really is the umbrella organization, even, you know, that supports my art. I want to propose two mandates for the DBF. One, to reposition the arts, you know, as I was talking about earlier, in particular visual arts, as a viable and impactful field of study. So even from the schools, through the provision of scholarships, scholarship funding, and career mentoring for students wishing to enter into the art schools, or the art school, Edelman School of Visual Arts. So that's, you know, hopefully if, you know, you were to take a piece home, you'll be contributing to the foundation through that. Second mandate is to promote community healing and development, I alluded to earlier, through arts-based programs targeting at-risk youth. And I started a little bit of that sort of mentoring in Canada, quite almost by accident. But I'll get into that a little later. So this exhibition you're looking at, I call it the mini exhibition. Right? It's like a soft launch. Wasn't too sure what pieces to take with me. I have quite a number of pieces. Maybe you've seen some scrolling as we speak. I believe that this little exhibition here would stand testimony to what someone who is a lover of art or wants to take art further as a career choice could do. I'm a self-taught artist, but it would be remiss if I didn't mention help I've gotten help from Google, YouTube, and friends and so on. Self-directed nonetheless, which means that with proper schooling, which I'm actually thinking of getting into the formal melee. But I think that a lot, if you're wowed, if you're inspired, it's because the arts spoke to you, and I guess I'm saying that I was kind of successful, if that's the case. All right, so please bear that in mind. If you were to gift a piece to a friend, or take a piece, choose a piece, any piece for your home office, wherever, you are helping to positively impact Jamaica, society at large. So case in point, this I've been mentoring this 14-year-old back in Hamilton where we live. Arwin is a typical or atypical 9th grader who is considered a youth at risk, and she's a victim of physical and sexual abuse. She's in and out of shelters, foster care, and whatever you can think that's have her at a disadvantage, it is. It was during my preparation for this exhibition, actually painting on my balcony, that I met up with Arwin. She just came over. I guess it's true what they taught me in school, that art actually provides a platform for community, for conversation, to unite. So she came over and she's like, hi, I like what you're doing. Next thing you know, she was on the balcony fooling around with the paints at first. And then within a day or two, she was painting with oils. She started out with acrylics, but she was fascinated with the fact that I'm using oils, and I was giving her acrylics, which is the easier medium to use. So she took to the art. Now listen to this. Arwin, prior to meeting up with her, she had stopped attending school. I didn't even know this, for 10 days in a row. And she was using hard drugs. She told me that sometime after, of course. She had attempted suicide 11 times in 3 years because of the trauma. Anyways, long story short, I invited her to paint alongside me, and I always welcome artistic minds around me. Why? Because I have a great love for people that think like me. Right? I have a great love for crazy people, they say. But you know what? Hopefully you won't see me as too crazy. I tell you, art requires a certain wiring, right? But we'll get into that some other time. Anyway, I provided her with meals, and because in talking to her, I heard her situation, provided her with meals, and she had access to all my art supplies. What I can say is she sees the opportunity to express herself not only on the canvas, but to have frank and open expression, dialogue with me about her situation. In a few short months, I'm happy to report that she is now like full-time at school, and she's quit hard drugs.
That's great.
Hard drugs. That's beautiful. And Kathy actually can bear witness. She was a little rough on the edges.
Yeah.
And she softened up considerably, showing signs of motivation to excel in school. And that could bring a tear or two to one's eye. There are many more Arwins out there. With your help, we can reach them. Thanks again for coming. Enjoy the rest of the evening.